Hey everybody, Mark, Dr. Deadwax, back for day 20 of the Inbox Challenge. And today's numbers were picked by Chris Oliver. Chris, thanks for playing along, man. Chris picked 3 numbers. We're going to do all 3 records. Now before we start, I just got to say, Lysergic Summer. We got to get that out on vinyl. Your record, your music, Brendan's mastering, Jeff's artwork. It's like a trippy VC lovin'. Deserves to be on vinyl. We've got to talk to the impresario, David, there, and see if we can get that in the pipeline for a vinyl release. Maybe I'll find some rare blue thumbs and we'll bribe them. Yeah, that'll work. I'll work on it, man. All right, so let's start. First record. I Keep Coming Back. Sonny Stitt on the Varitone. This is a 1966 release on Roulette Records. Where's the beautiful Roulette label? Oh! Green 7. Oh, I lost everything. This is a first pressing with A and B stampers, no numbers. This is a US pressing. Fantastic record. I really like it. You know, it's a really good jazz record. It's not anything cutting edge or mind blowing. It's just a really good jazz record. Kind of record you enjoy listening to. I don't know how to class that. Like, just a good straight ahead jazz record. Varitone. Varitone was an electric saxophone made by Selmar. Yeah, I played Selmar saxophones when I played sax. So the electric guitar had kind of become the most popular instrument with young people in music, and Selmar thought that they could, if they made an electrified saxophone, it would increase the sales of saxes again, because saxophone, I think, had been the #1 kind of instrument for before the guitar took off. It's got a little box on the side of it so you can connect the wire or patch cord, and it's got little dials so you can adjust octaves and reverb and pitch and all kinds of, and you can kind of warp the sounds that come out of it. Somebody described that with all of these potential capabilities, it sounded like saxophone with a kazoo in it, and I think that's a little harsh. It was interesting. Eddie Harris played it. I think he might have been able to do a few more interesting things with it. But this is a good straight-ahead jazz record. I picked it up for $8 at a store last year. You know, I really can't complain. I liked it. Next is David Gilmour, self-titled. This is a Canadian pressing on Columbia. It's on the standard red label Columbia. This is from 1978. Now, this record came out with Canadian plates with the 2GZ stamper, so it's not quite as bad as the 2/8Zs, but you know, it sounds pretty good. The music is excellent. I really enjoy this record. I really like this record. I can hear a lot of, this is like post-Animals, pre-The Wall, but you know, when I listen to this record, I hear the kind of writing and song structures and things that surface later on A Momentary Lapse of Reason, which is an album from Pink Floyd that I really like. You know, Waters had gone, there'd been a break, they came back, and I would say, while it was still Pink Floyd, definitely it was David Gilmour's band by then, and he was definitely taking the lead on most of the writing. And I can hear that record in this record. It's got that same kind of easy flow to it that record has. There's No Way Out of Here. That is probably the single. I don't know if there was ever a single from this record, but that would be like possibly the most familiar song on this record. I definitely heard it on classic rock radio in the past, although I hadn't heard most of this record. So, you know, if only he released this record and called it the Division Bell because, oh man, is that it? Don't write lyrics with your girlfriends, man. Sorry, I was ranting and I apologize. Last record is Valdy. This is called Countryman. There's a nasty West Coast beard for you. Look, there's a bloody tree growing out of it. Valdy, Canadian, born Paul Vladimir Horsdale in Ottawa, moved out to Vancouver, Victoria area, folk singer. Let's call him folk rock in the vein of Bruce Cockburn. He covers some Bruce Cockburn songs on here. He covers Harry Nilsson's Rainmaker on here. He covers Coburn's Going Down Slow and Going to the Country. So it's kind of that folk rock, you know, acoustic folk rock. It's I really like it. It's the kind of music I really enjoy. This is on the very cool Haida label, which is another West Coast name. There you can see the Deadwax's right perfectly clear there. Interesting in the Deadwax's on here is the Monarch. This was made, the plates were cut by Monarch Records. I don't know if I can get it to show. Right there at like 6 o'clock, you can see the MR in the circle at the very bottom. And that's the Monarch Records code. And you can see the Haida HL5101A there that they put in. So now I have 2 copies of this, so let's look at this one first. You can see on this one at the very bottom it says produced by Clark Lawrence, and then it's got the information, you know, the manufactured by and distributed by A&M Records Canada, the whole thing. It's not quite in focus, but you know, that's always there we go. Now this is my copy out of my collection because I actually kind of like Valdy. Some people kind of dismiss him, but in the 70s in Canada he was the #2 selling folk rock artist after Gordon Lightfoot. So here's the same side, or the same. Here's the same side of my other copy, and as you can see, there's now a publishing accreditation added, P 1972 publishing rights, but all the other same information. If you see the HL5101 side 1 up there, on Discogs there's actually a later pressing of this record than that, and it actually has additional coding and stuff in it. So this record is a little more flexible than this record. This record's a little thicker. However, the plates on both of these records are identical with the exact same stampers on both sides. No change at all. Monarch Records, the whole thing. No additional number codes. No additional anything. Now the one that's in my personal collection, it has an inner sleeve, and we can tell that it's a later pressing also because it has Valdy's Landscapes, which is the second album that came out a year later, in the advertising. And both of these records are from the 120 Milner Avenue, Agincourt, Ontario iteration of A&M Records in Canada, whereas the one, if you go and look it up on Discogs, that is from, I think it's the Warden Avenue iteration of Discogs, which existed after, which is where they moved to off of Milner Road. So, and this, the version I played and listened to today, has an A&M inner sleeve with the Agincourt address as well, but no advertising. And interesting to note that the inner was made in England. So, well, interesting to me, probably to nobody else. So that's it. I recommend people check out Valdy. For years I kind of dismissed Valdy because around the time that I was kind of conscious and paying attention to stuff, you know, I started, because this is from 1972, so you know, I didn't start paying attention to stuff till like the 80s, and Valdy put out a record for kids, and I kind of lumped them in with the Sharon, Lois and Bram, Raffi kind of kids performer, and then I picked up a bunch of these for like $1 one day, and I just started to play them, and I was highly impressed with the quality of the folk rock that was on them. So I would say definitely pick up this and Landscapes, both of which were recorded in California. They sound pretty awesome. I know Landscapes has a very famous backing band on it. So this was $1 somewhere record show, and the Gilmour was $1 at a record show too. So that's it. Chris, thanks for picking the numbers and playing along, and thanks everybody for watching and commenting. I don't know, almost 3 weeks into this. Just keeps going. Never ends, man. Have a great day, everybody. Keep the record spinning.